Journaling's really changed my life in some incredible and dramatic ways. And today I'm going to be going over the 5 greatest differences and benefits and ways that it has changed my life and how it could change yours as well. So hey, what's up family? My name's Mitch. I'm a coach helping you create a life, job, and impact that aligns with who you uniquely are because you are awesome, my friend. So the first massive benefit that I've taken from journaling is the self-awareness that has come from that. So before I started journaling, I've always been like fairly introspective as a person, but I spent a lot of time playing video games, playing sport, and just like hanging out with people, and didn't really stop to search inside myself. I was a teenager, so like some people do that, some people don't, but I never really had. And as I started to really write out what was going on for me, as I moved into really questioning what was going on, questioning my beliefs, exploring certain experiences that I had or interactions with people or my thought processes, as you begin writing more in depth about that and continuing writing and really expanding and writing like 400, 500, 600, 1,000 words on it, you come to so many really great insights about like what you think, who you are, what you believe, that are all sort of sitting under the surface of, who you are, and they do make up who you are. But unless you take the time to really uncover those things, they will remain in that sort of subconscious realm. It's almost like you're living on autopilot, like all these habits, all these thoughts, all these beliefs, they're all working without you really knowing about it. And by journaling or by talking to someone, or, there's lots of different ways to get it out and bring it into that conscious realm. But journaling for me was a really powerful tool to step out of that autopilot mode and to start to be more conscious about who I was and, what I thought and how I acted. And that self-awareness, self-awareness is great in itself, but that has so many flow-on effects as well. Like that is powerful in so many different realms in life. But I'll leave that there because it probably relates to some of my other ones. So yeah, first one, self-awareness, massive improvement over the last 8 years in that. So I'm coming out the gate with probably the 2 biggest, which is, self-awareness. And the next one is finding my path or finding my way in life. And I would even put that down to like finding my purpose, which I believe that, to a certain extent I have uncovered and am walking down that path now. And journaling has been an incredible tool in working out who I am and where I'm going and who I want to be and trying to find my purpose or my path. I would say the biggest reason for that, when you add on like obviously all the self-awareness stuff, but by having a database, basically, this is basically what you're creating over years and years of journaling. I have an ungodly amount of notes, and you create this really rich database of things you care about, because you don't journal about just any old thing. You generally journal about things you care about or upset you or you enjoyed or you resonated with. And so by having this database of all these important notes, by reflecting back on them years later, you can start to see really clear patterns in who you are and what you resonate with and what your gifts are and what you seem to always return back to, that thing that like you just can't shake, and the things that just light you up and you just love. And for me personally, like working out who I am, who I want to be, what my path is in life and what I want to achieve, looking back on those notes was massive for me because I was able to see the ebbs and flows and find the patterns in myself and make what is quite a, messy process of like figuring out who you are and what you want to do in your life into a far more in a way, methodical process. Like, really considering all the things that led me to here, as well as the beliefs and philosophies that I've resonated with and believe about life, and allowing those to make really great decisions about who I want to be and what I want to create. And, I actually thought while I was writing this script, I think this deserves a whole video for itself. So let me know down below if that is something you would want a video on, and how journaling can really help you find your purpose, and maybe a bit more of a step-by-step in how I went through that process. So thirdly, and a really rich one as well, is being more understanding and accepting of others and their beliefs and opinions and ways of being. So journaling led me to this sort of like new way of being and understanding through a couple different ways. So firstly, through often when I would have, conflicts with people, or I would have something happen to me that was, perceived as negative in that way, I would go and journal about that. And I would really break down what was happening, why I didn't resonate with it, why it was a negative experience for me, what was going on their side, and would also try my best to assess what was going on inside of me, and how I may have contributed to that negative experience. And through taking the time in situations where you are uncomfortable or didn't enjoy, by taking the time to really consider what was going on for the other person or the other event or whatever it was that was external to you, and consider how they got there, where they maybe were right, maybe, just trying to see it from their point of view after the fact. Often when you're taken out of the heat of that experience, really see a lot more of the value in what was being said or being done on the other side. And the other way in which it's led me to be more accepting and understanding of others is that, again, by looking back over my notes, it is almost like hilarious reading back my notes from even 2 years ago, but even particularly when I was 18, when I was 19, when I was 20, like, oh God, it's embarrassing reading back the things that I wrote all the time. But what it showed me was that all of us go through so many different stages of thought and perception and awareness about certain different, about everything. And by looking at things with a fresh new lens years later, and being able to see things, in ways that I didn't see before, gave me an appreciation for just the fact that everyone's on their own journey. I've been terribly wrong about so much stuff in my life, just like everyone has. And, it gives me an appreciation when I'm in a situation with someone that is, let's just say, being less than pleasant, or it's perceived as a negative situation from my perspective at this moment, and being able to just accept where they are, and accept the fact that we all go through stages, we're all idiots at sometimes, we all believe things that later on we don't end up believing, even though we fight to the death about it at that time. And to just accept them on their journey and just be like, you know what, that's cool. Like, whatever's going on for you, that's fantastic. I'll try to listen. I'll try to, communicate and connect with you as best as I can, but just to accept them for who they are, because I've been that person. I've been the person that didn't have the answers. I've been the person who thought they was right. I've been the person who, just all these things. And we all evolve at our own time, and we all just, that's a beautiful process, and just to accept that and just enjoy people. So fourthly, and I have a couple different videos on this topic, so I will link them up around here in this little white thing that comes up, is making better decisions. So decision making at the best of times can be a very messy process, particularly when it's a really big decision. We want to make a good decision. It's something that sets up, the next couple years or our whole lives or whatever it is. And journaling has been a really useful tool in being able to take what is quite a messy process and something that can be a very mental thing where there's a lot of different priorities, elements, perspectives, like just so much stuff at play at the same time, and getting it out and being able to journal about it, being able to expand on those things and really consider all those things for what they are has been really valuable in many of the decisions, particularly big decisions that I've made over the last couple years. And not all those decisions were fantastic decisions. It's not to say that, if you start journaling, your decisions are always going to be perfect. But what it will do is it allows you to not carry that decision with you all the time. It allows you to get it out of your head. It allows you to make the process of the decision a far more clear, less stressful and more easy process. And that kind of leads on to my fifth and final way in which journaling has really changed my life for the better. And it's just being less stressed, just, being able to enjoy life a little bit more and not get so caught up and stressed by everything. And the way that it does this, and I've spoke about this so many times on this channel, is just by getting it out. I'm a bit of a verbal processor in general, hence the standing in front of a camera right now, sitting and chatting to all of you. But having an avenue in which you can get the thoughts out of your head, that you can just be not carrying everything with you, is incredibly beneficial to reducing your stress. And there's so many examples I can think of right now where it has been genuinely very impactful. Like, there's obviously just generally in life, not carrying around everything in your head is just a more simple existence, and you're not constantly relying on your memory to remember everything. But also really specific experiences, like I spoke about with the understanding of people and where they're at and these negative experiences you might have. There's times in which I have had a fight with a friend and I've gone and journaled about that afterwards. And through journaling about it and considering their point of view, doing all the things they do, or just being able to vent and just be angry, at the piece of paper or my keyboard and just get it out of me, is incredibly therapeutic. And in some ways you could say that's the same for lots of things. You could be talking to a friend and that might have the same impact or effect in being able to de-stress on certain events or experiences in your life. And I would agree, but journaling also has the extra element of being just for you. It's just a space where if you can keep your journals out of the hands of other people, it's your space. No one else reads this stuff, and you can be as raw and authentic and honest as you are prepared to be in that space. If anyone got hold of my notes from my journaling from the last 8 years, I would be mortified, because there would be so much stuff in there that I would never want to see the light of day. Because when I am journaling, I am so real and honest about what is really happening inside of me, or at least I strive to be that way, because when I can have that really safe space in which it's just for me and I can really feel free to explore and to vent about things and to do whatever I want, it creates a space that is really therapeutic and personal and rich and beautiful. And so that is the 5 greatest ways in which journaling has changed my life for the better. I hope it has inspired you to go out there and do some more journaling. You don't need a book. I think I'm going to gravitate towards a bit more of a book approach next year in 2021. I'm just feeling that vibe, but I've always been a computer guy, so the main thing is to just go out and do it. You don't have to do it every day. It might be good to do a 30-day challenge just to get the ball rolling, but just go out there and, dig down in here and see what's going on. I'm sure you'll be surprised by some of the stuff that comes up in a good way. So I hope you have taken something from this. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. See you later, family.